We've been talking about China on and off for over 20 years and their imbalances. I think this week, the president declared a trade war on them effectively with 125% tariffs as of now. It'll probably change in the next few days because these things keep changing.
Yes.
So, but it's like, what do you think of the trade and tariff policy? What's going to happen? Bond yields sold off more than I expected. The yields went higher than I expected so far. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm hesitant to comment since obviously it's a very, very fluid situation, but something like the sort of reset they're talking about now seems where we're going, where you need a very drastic reset with China. In theory, you need a reset with other people, but what we really need to get them to do is also reset things with China. I think the rough numbers are that about a quarter of the U.S. trade deficit is bilaterally with China, but another quarter is indirectly with China. So China is sort of half the problem, and so it's selling components that then get reassembled elsewhere, and then China is the geopolitical rival. So there's a way in which if people in Mercedes in Germany are selling cars to the U.S., we might want to have those pretty well-paying jobs in the U.S. and not in Germany. And there are all kinds of sort of mercantilist policies that at the margins Germany engages in. But it's probably not going to repurpose the Mercedes factory to build tanks to invade the U.S. or something like this. Yeah. Whereas this this sort of dual use problem is the problem with China. And so there's sort of there are ways the economic relationship with China is fairly efficient. If people working for $1.50 an hour in a Foxconn factory, we don't really want to get those jobs in Wisconsin. But it is this geopolitical rivalry where that's in the background that you have to somehow factor in that the economists never are able to factor in properly with China. And so I think, I don't know. I'm not sure I would call this the optimistic plan, but the reset in trade that seems desirable to me would be that we radically change the relationship with China, and we sort of induce a lot of other countries to radically change their relationship with China, and that's how we. And maybe that's how we build a stronger Western alliance of the free world.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some interesting negotiations in the next few months. Do you think that we could bring, maybe using AI, some more advanced manufacturing here that was in China? Is that a real thing the next decade to do a bunch more of it here thanks to our more efficiencies and productivity?
There's probably always a decent amount of things like that. You have to always be extremely granular on how expensive the robots are, how expensive the equipment is, because in some sense manufacturing has been getting steadily more automated for 250 years, and you've had the machines that make the machines that make the machines are getting sort of smarter and more complicated, and there are ways in which AI is a quantum leap. There's a way in which it's just a natural continuation of this two century long process. I think there are some parts that can be moved to the U.S. With AI. Maybe also if you change some of the environmental rules and some of the other anti-industrial policies we have in the U.S. But then if parts of this are moved to other emerging market countries, Vietnam is it's a communist country. It has bad mercantilist policies, but it's not planning to take over the world. Yeah. And so at the margins, if we can move things from China to Vietnam, that's a big win.